close to 98th percentile in CAT, and I got calls from IIM Calcutta, Kozhikode, Indore, Lucknow, Shillong and all the CAP colleges. I was able to convert all of the IIMs except for IIM Calcutta, and I was able to do that because of my communication skills. You'll probably find it hard to believe, but there was a time in my life when I just could not speak proper English. I was not able to speak one full sentence properly in English, but I went from there to be able to speak good English and also be complimented on my vocabulary by working on my interviewing skills. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 strategies that help me in cracking IIM interviews and how, if you follow these strategies, it's going to help you in cracking your IIM or any other MBA interview. The first and the most obvious strategy is work on your communication skills. I've actually uploaded 2 separate videos where once I've talked about how you can work on your communication skills and the other about how you can work on your English speaking skills. So please check out that video because your communication skills are the most important part of your IIM interviews. It does not matter how much knowledge you have if you can't communicate it properly to the panelists. Let me tell you the reality of your interviews. Most of the panelists, they're looking for candidates who can get good jobs after they get into the MBA college. If you cannot speak good English, how is it that you can crack any of those good jobs or placements that come under the campus? Because ultimately, most B schools or MBA colleges, they're focusing a lot on getting their students placed. They want to get good packages and they want all of their students to get placed at good companies. And trust me, communication skills is the most important aspect for it. Be it sales, be it marketing, be it consultancy, be it iBanking, all of these professions which are top tier in all MBA colleges require for you to have good communication skills. So you just cannot escape this. Let's come to the second strategy that really helped me, and that was sitting for IAS interviews. So I went for this online coaching of IAS interviews, and this coaching really helped me a lot. They asked me the most absurd questions that I could imagine, and the stress that they put me in was next level. I would have never imagined that IAS interviews could be this hard. And that made me realize these are probably the hardest interviews that exist in our country. And if you're able to crack an IAS interview, you can seriously, very easily crack the IIM interviews. So if you have the budget for it, go for IAS interviews. Go for the mock interview series. It's really going to help you in managing all of that stress which comes with all of the IIM interviews. Because ultimately, they want to see how well you can be put under stress and pressure and how well you can come out of it. You can also go through a lot of videos. I'm sure this person is very famous on the internet for taking the IAS interviews, and I genuinely went through a lot of their videos. They're actually good, apart from all of the memes that have been made around it. You can also purchase a lot of mock IAS interview books, and they help a lot and they're quite inexpensive as well. So just purchase these books. It's going to help you in managing your stress levels and also fumbling with what you have to say when you're sitting for the interview. Because a lot of times they're going to ask you a question which you have no idea of. The third strategy that really helped me was not using filler words. This is something which I've noticed quite a lot, even with MBA students. I had a neighbor who graduated from one of the top IIMs. He scored close to 100 percentile, so his percentile was amazing. But he was not able to crack IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore and IIM Calcutta because of his communication skills. And this is something which he told me, that his English was not fluent because he used a lot of filler words. And that is something which I also noticed when I was talking to him a lot. Filler words are basically words that we use to bridge the gaps and the pauses. Words like, so, and, like, and we use it unconsciously all the time. When we can't figure out the answer to something, we riddle our sentences with these filler words, and it just takes away the authority and it just takes away the credibility with which we're speaking. If you just stop using filler words, you sound 30 to 40% better. In fact, this is something which I've covered in one of my previous videos as well, where I've talked extensively about filler words. I've used a lot of examples of top founders using filler words and how you can come out of it. So my strategy for you to use is just pause. You feel like saying take a small pause. It makes the audience think like you're giving them time to think about what you've said. Let me give you a quick small example. Hi, I'm Vanshika. I have scored close to 98th percentile in CAT, and I got calls. That's one way of speaking. The other is that I just put pauses wherever I feel the urge to use filler words. Hi, I'm Vanshika. I scored close to 98th percentile in CAT, and I got calls from I'm Kozhikode, I'm Lucknow, just by replacing my filler word with pauses, even at parts which did not even require a pause, made me sound 30 to 40% better from how I was speaking before. And that's just not using filler words. Imagine if you use all the other strategies that I have talked about in the video. The fourth and the most obvious one is being informed. If you don't know what to talk about, even with great communication skills, the panelists can tell that you're speaking bullshit. So how do you stay informed? One is that you read a lot of newspaper. Do not read Hindustan Times or the Hindu because it just does not cover the good aspects of what is happening around in the world. Try to switch to ET. It has a lot of free articles that you can read up as well, and you get a lot of free resources on the internet as well. And Economic Times is a great way of going through whatever is happening in the financial world and also in the political world, which is going to help you in your MBA interviews. It's good to have the knowledge about everything, but in your MBA interviews, they're going to ask about the financial side of it or the mathematical side for it. And this is where the ET really helps. And I have some other suggestions also that can help. In one of my interviews, when I mentioned the book Free Economics, the panelists were quite impressed. They even asked me more about it, about the book. And Free Economics is my personal favorite. I've read this book at least 5 different times, and I've read all 3 parts of it. So when they asked me, well, what is something which stood out about free economics, I gave an example from the book, and they just really liked it a lot. So if you come up with something different, something unique, which other panelists are not going to talk about, all of a sudden you get extra brownie points. Because let's be real, your competition is not you. Your competition is all the other candidates who are sitting in that same room and are going to be part of the selection process. You want to set the benchmark so high that none of the other candidates come close to that. So there are some other article resources that you can check out, which is really going to help you in staying informed and getting good knowledge. One is Free Economics Radio. So they have a podcast channel where they pick up one particular topic and talk about that. I remember they had one particular topic on marriage, and they came up with 3 different sides of it: the good, the bad, and the neutral. And it was such a big eye-opener. It talked about things which nobody would have ever thought of. And they even talked about the economic side, the opportunity cost, the sunk cost, everything related to marriage. It was a really good podcast, so you can try this out as well. Second is the Pocket app. It comes up with some really good articles. I can name a few. I'm just opening up the app. One of them was, is convenience making our lives more difficult? This was an amazing read, something which I would not have read before. Then there was another one which talked about what are carbon credits and how do they work, which is quite intriguing, something which the panelists would want to know about. And then there's another one by Financial Times, Crocs double down on ugly and is paying off. So they essentially take up the articles from some of the top resources and take their best ones and put it in the app. The audience reading articles is already quite limited, and that's why we don't have a lot of channels which are posting good articles. And out of those good articles, if you read the best ones consistently, you've already outrank at least 50% of the candidates. Seriously, try out this app. I have some other ones as well. One is Deep Stash, then another is Refined, and finally FinShots. And FinShots is something which I would highly recommend because they come up with a lot of financial news related to India, and it's generally very good knowledge. I remember one of their podcasts was about how does RBI make money. We all hear about RBI all the time, but how do they really make money? So they come up with these really interesting articles related to the financial world, especially India. So you can go through that and use that when you're speaking for your interviews. So the fifth and the final one is work on your visual appearance. I cannot stress on this enough. Your visual appearance includes the body language, what you're wearing as well. When I went for my IIM Kozhikode interview, I saw a woman who was wearing party makeup. I even saw a woman who was wearing skirts which were quite inappropriate. I mean, it was inappropriate to wear for an IIM interview. So knowing what to wear and also your body language helps a lot. 77% of the first impressions are made just by visual appearance. So you want to look confident, you want to wear the right clothes, and your visual appearance is going to make at least 40% of that impact. Invest in some good clothes. You don't have to buy crazy expensive clothes, just buy a good fitted blazer, good pants which don't droop down, and a good shirt. That's it. And apart from that, work on your body language as well. If you're entering the room and you're entering like this, or if you're, like this, your hands are just in front of you, or you're just visibly fidgeting or doing something which shows your nervousness, then the panelists take advantage of that and they try to bring you down a lot. But if you enter the room more self-assured and you're sitting up straight, you're taking up that space in that room, all of a sudden you look more confident. So just work on your visual appearance. I'm not going to go in depth into it. This is also something which you will have to research on, which goes the best for you. Things like how should you stand, how should you keep your hands, where should you look. All of these things come under visual appearance. If you would want me to make a separate video on this, just comment about it. And we have reached the end of the video. There's a lot more strategies that I can share and I can go on and on about it. But these are the top 5 that I want to share with you. And trust me, it's going to really help you in nailing down your interviews. So I want to wish all of you good luck for your IIM interviews or for your MBA interviews. And I know you're going to ace it if you follow all of the strategies that I talked about. So you take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.